Hi guys, I'm Jessie, and I want to help people stop cutting and renounce suicide. So today I want to talk to the parents, boyfriends, girlfriends, and other loved ones of people who cut to give you a better understanding of what you're dealing with and how you can help this person. When someone you love cuts, 9 times out of 10, the behavior is much more similar to someone using drugs than someone with real mental illness. There are people with severe mental illness who self-harm, but in those cases, the mental illness will be very apparent in other ways, and the self-harm will just be one of many side effects, like with severe autism or schizophrenia. Those are not the people I'm talking about. Though my other videos could help those people if they have the capacity to take charge of their own behavior. But in this video, that's not what I'm talking about. Most of us who cut are normal, high-functioning people who just have a hard time dealing with our emotions. And we use cutting as a vice, similar to taking drugs. It's often a control thing, like we feel we have no control over our lives and our feelings, but this is something that we can control. It's a release and a diversion from our emotional pain. Our mental disorder is usually just that we're highly sensitive. We have really strong emotions. And then we find cutting like the same way a lot of people find alcohol or different drugs. It's very hushed and taboo, but it does have its own social aspect. There are places on social media where it's glamorized. Um, I've had times where me and a friend would cut each other or we would cut together. It wasn't like the normal thing we did every time we hung out, but it did happen more than once and with more than one friend. Um, I've had countless friends and people just decide to show me that they cut, and show me their scars and their cuts. So there are a lot of people who do this, and there is a social aspect to it. It is a learned behavior. They saw or heard someone else doing it and decided to try it out. I've met a great number of people who tried it a few times when they were young and then got over it and stopped. A lot of people are not going to like the next thing I have to say, but I'm going to say it because it's the truth. Most of those people who cut a few times and then stopped and didn't do it anymore are the ones who didn't get sent to the psych ward. That's my personal experience and truth. And I've met a lot of different people on both sides. Now, if they cut and it's really deep to the point where they need medical attention, that's more like a real suicide attempt. And by all means, get them that medical help and go ahead with the 5150. But if it's superficial and it's more just like a cry for help or a vice in some way, please try not to take that route. Because when you go to a psych ward, the doctor, who knows nothing about you other than the incident that got you there, sees you for 10 minutes and then throws some diagnosis at you with a prescription to treat it. And then you're left with a lifelong stigma that there is something inherently wrong with you. And for a person whose main problem is not liking themselves, that's just not helpful. Because it makes them feel like it makes them a helpless victim of their own life, which is the feeling that got them there in the first place. As far as medication goes, like, I understand some people really need it, but for a cutter, it can be a nightmare because To this day, there is not a single antidepressant on the market that is FDA approved for people under the age of 25. Look it up. It's a fact. I'm not making this up. This is a fact. Every single one of them warns this drug may cause or increase thoughts of suicide in teens and young adults. And for so many of us, they do. I went from being a normal, moody 14-year-old coping with some big changes to bashing my head through mirrors and downing full bottles of pills because the medication made me worse. It really did. I only ever tried to kill myself while on antidepressants. Okay, so then what can we do? Well, the best thing that you can do is talk to them and focus on their feelings. Never tell them that they shouldn't feel that way, because the fact is they do. Let them know that it's okay to feel how they feel. It's not okay to hurt yourself, but it's okay to feel. Everybody feels sad or frustrated sometimes. It's a valid response to what you're going through. Dealing with those feelings is a part of growing up. It is. You're learning about yourself, your feelings, and what to do with them. And if you're having a hard time doing that, it's okay. Lots of people do. The responsible, grown up thing to do is to see a therapist because they can help you learn how to deal with this. That's what this person needs to hear, that they have the power to do something about it, like lots of mature, responsible adults. For therapy to work, it has to be their choice. They need to know that they have power and control over themselves. So you get them into therapy. Then the day-to-day things that you can do can have a huge impact on them. Talk to them every day. And when you do, try to validate their feelings. Not destructive behavior, but feelings. Like saying, well, I can see how that would make you upset. Or, wow, that would make me feel this way. Mirroring their emotions can really, really help them learn how to deal with them. You have to let them know it's okay to feel. Even when they're freaking out, try to get them to focus on how they feel instead of the situation or the behavior. Validate their feelings. Another thing you can do to help is try to find ways to give them some sense of personal power in their life. If there's a decision to be made that affects them, like moving, talk to them about it and try to find a way to let them have some form of control over the decision. Like looking at different houses or apartments together and valuing their opinions. Within the limits of what has to be done and what is your budget, but still let them take part of it. Maybe let them pick their room first. Let them pick a movie you watch on family night or go do something that they want to do. Show them that their opinions matter, even though there are a lot of things that just are the way they are. They still have some kind of power and control in their lives. Point out the things that give them options to help them practice healthy decision making and personal power. Help them find hobbies and creative outlets and do them together. Get outside together on a regular basis. There's a book called Understanding My Highly Sensitive Child by Elaine Aron. And that book could help a lot of parents with kids who cut. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. This person is not crazy. They are just sensitive, often to the point of empathic, where they actually feel the feelings of people around them. Trying to shut that sensitivity off is like standing in front of a loudspeaker blasting music and trying to just not hear it. It's a part of who they are. They need to understand this. They need you to understand this. Don't walk on eggshells trying not to upset them. They need to learn how to deal with it. But talk to them about how they feel to make reasonable accommodations. Validate their feelings first, and then focus on healthy ways of dealing with those feelings. I know the intense energy of this person can be terrifying, but it can also be so beautiful, and that's why you love them. Until next time, I really hope this helps.